Hey, black women. I'm sorry, I'm lazying out today. Oh, I'm just feeling like I probably need a vitamin. But let me tell y'all, I came to talk to y'all about this whole thing I've been seeing with Samantha Cooker and Chrissy, right? And then you have like the Samantha Cooker minions, like Nosy Neighbor Lady, especially, and all these other women that Samantha Cooker is now putting up on her channel. And what this all comes down to is, and I know y'all gonna say I'm beating an old hat or, beating a dead horse, but here's the thing, right? All this shit culminates to, and I know we've been having colorism wars forever. Excuse my lash, it's doing its own damn thing today, but we've been having colorism wars forever, right? But I'm sorry, this in particular comes right back to the fact that the majority of black content creators that are women, dark skin, light skin, or other, all of them have a problem with dark skinned women, period, having anything in life besides somebody disrespecting us, talking shit to us, and treating us like we're nothing. And if we don't have a life full of drama, nobody wants to ever be able to, be able to mess with us. I was gonna say fuck with us. It's true. They don't want to fuck with us if we don't have a whole lot of bullshit going on in our life. Which is why when I talk about sisterhood and black women coming together, trying to say to yourself, fuck all that other shit people are trying to tell you, because that is so embedded in us as a people from slavery. Colorism comes from slavery. Now, before slavery, we know we all lived in this world and did not have those problems until we had to interact with other people of the world when they popped up through mutations in the genetic genes, right? So now we got to deal with them. But we got to be smart enough to understand all the things they're doing out here in this world to not only divide us, but ultimately, y'all, the bottom line to all this shit is society and white America trying to take away the voice from black women, starting with the darkest women all the way to the lightest of black women. And you see this in the way that black women are represented on all of these platforms in the most negative light, how these black males are allowed to keep up their videos disrespecting us, dehumanizing us, trying to literally educate and train and teach the world to hate us and to be anti-black towards black women only, or I should say horribly the most, and then go on to make it seem like we have no value in society, that we are, like, as they say, whores, we're promiscuous, all these horrible things about us that are not true. And I'm going to tell you what the underlying reason to all of this is. It is because as black women wake up, right, and we start, think about all the shit that has happened this year with things you don't really care about, but you have to see the significance in it when it happens. Things like when Just Hilarious flipped out on the transgender dude, right, for basically trying to claim that they're real women when they're biological men. That's important, and that leads into all of this, because the way white America works is it's a capitalist country. So all of this shit is about money. So since in the black community, and follow with me, y'all, don't get lost, because I started out with colorism. It's going back to colorism because it all ties together, right? Because the point of it is to make you lose yourself and feel like you ain't shit, so that you don't recognize that they're trying to usurp your power and take everything from you and put you back literally in the position of a complete second-class citizen forever. So because this country works off of capitalism, and when you think about the black community, which is why you hear all this other crazy shit now with everybody trying to promote having babies, going off on young women that don't want to be a wife or girlfriend and who don't want to have children, is because this is the way that they keep capitalism going. And when you look at how black women in the black community are the financial, I would say, building block of the community. Like, we are economically more sound than black males any day in any way. And not only do we know it, but most importantly, white America knows it. So they constantly always have to have us beefing and being distracted by all kinds of dumb shit that's going on directed towards us, because at the same time they're seeing us become financially stable. You know, they watch our videos and they see people like me and others pointing you, and people that, and black women that actually have platforms that focus solely on finances and getting black women to the highest level they can be in this country, to be homeowners, start a business, get to the point where you can hire other black women. They're watching all this shit, right? So what they then have to do is, it's not like they're calling these people up and saying, hey, Samantha Cooker, start a really ridiculous, petty fucking argument with Chrissy so that people could start focusing on y'all and stop worrying about the things that are actually happening to them. And all the rest of the content creators that do the same thing. Her minions that are out here making videos about how much they don't like Chrissy, and Chrissy's a shit starter, and this and that and the other. This is all the extended factors that come out of this shit. Because ultimately, white America sees, with the West 4B movement, this country sees it. They see the number of black women walking away from traditional so-called two-parent homes, the nuclear family, and the fact that they should be a traditional housewife and not ever care about their own lives, what they want to do in life, and whatever it is that makes them happy. They should never chase their own goals, but yet always live to be a servant for a male, and always believe that your purpose in life is to be someone's sexual fucking You're not anybody's sexual slave. We're not courtesans, or whatever they call them in Asia, where, you know, your whole life is to be a whore for some dude, the emperor or the guards in the war or the generals. That's not who we are, right? So when they see us moving away from this shit, because they spend all their lives programming us to be this way through television, fairy tales, gender roles, the toys we play with, the movies we watch, the dolls, especially Barbie. And I hope y'all checked out that awesome fucking Black Barbie documentary. It was great. But anyway, the books we read, the way we style our hair, the ignorant belief that we are the weaker sex and that every man is stronger than every woman, when if you use common sense, you know that that's not true. You know there are very puny men that can't do anything. Then you know there are strong men. Then there are other men. There are women that are physically stronger than a lot of men, and there are women that have been taught, I'm one of them, to actually fight with men and best them. Because if you think the military is not training women of every woman that goes in there to kill and beat the fuck out of men, you must be crazy. And if you think that they're not successful, you also must be crazy. Because the reason I give you that example is for you to understand that this is all brainwashing. And it is conditioning to get you to understand that you are supposed to hit the ceiling in life and never think about shattering that and going any further to do much, much more in life. Not only just for you, but for your group of black women. So when they see us talking about this shit, because you know they got their strategists out here paying attention, their sociologists, their psychologists, they watching everything. And every time they see a small area of weakness, they will attack it. And that's when you see all this silly shit always pop up out of nowhere. So since a lot of, I'm going to get to the point too about the capitalism and stuff. Don't worry. I'm just going all over the world to come back to where I want to go. Because I can't, I'm trying not to forget all the stuff I want to say. So since you see us having videos talking about the uprise in the exoticals, and these are, in my opinion, mostly black women that have a personal crisis going on, or a huge colorism issue, in addition to the so-called mixed race or biracial women who have never been accepted by black women in their lives. And so now this is their attempt at some type of petty revenge, and again adding to the cauldron of the wicked pot of trying to make dark-skinned black women and the gradation of dark-skinned women down to the light-skinned ones, right, feel like they have no power, when ultimately none of us have power if we don't stick together and realize that the little things that we try to make an issue about ourselves that really is not an issue should not be the shit we're focusing on. But what we should focus on is getting rid of those mentalities where street lifestyles like Sexy Red and her saying that dumb shit about our hair, and people like Samantha Cooker who also said that kind of ignorant shit about our hair, and the fucking groupies and grunts of those type of women like Nosy Neighbor Lady, she's doing all these videos about Chrissy and Cooker, right, is the fact that ultimately it's a tear down of black women. And they have this need to do it because the country itself sends out this message every day in everything we come in contact with. Videos, television, movies, radio, advertisements in magazines. How they even choose, if you notice, the majority of the influencers. You ever notice they don't have any old women, any dark-skinned old women, major influencers? You ever notice that? And all this stuff, the ones that are like heavily rotated are the brown paper bag test and up, and ones that they feel are aesthetically pleasing to black people, because this is all indoctrination. So they do this because, again, back to the capitalism of this country, they're looking at the numbers. And there have been plenty of videos I've posted on YouTube and on my page, my community page, to show you that these people look at the numbers and they need worker bees out here to keep them rich. And when you don't have the worker bees doing what you need them to do, which is breeding black males who are going to sell out black women and children and kill us every 4 to 5 hours of the day, then going over to the white community and benefit them by being all the athletes and rappers and businessmen who marry white women and bring all the money these stupid black coon slaves made right back to their white master, and don't even realize that there's probably not even 2 seconds in between them holding on to that money before they give it right back to the white community and the white people they got it from. Okay, so they know this, and they get upset when they see black women like me and others telling you, okay, fine, we got to love each other. We got to get our finances up. We have to start a sisterhood of like-minded women. We got to get out of all this jealousy, envy, fighting with each other over nothing. You can have differences of opinion, right? Because when Chrissy was talking about whatever she was talking about with the rotation dating, serial dating, the concept is understood. Me, myself, and the women my age, we were doing that way before y'all gave it a terminology. Because we were always taught never to give all your attention to one dude, because he will take advantage of you and abuse you because he feels like you don't have any other option. It's that simple, right? So with her just trying to tell women how to do that and not being like the ridiculous shit that Shira's doing, which will get black women either raped, hurt, or killed, because she's giving like this fantasy illusion that you're going to somehow always be able to finesse these dudes out of money without sucking some dick, giving up some ass, or doing something for these fucking men, because we all know how men are. There's no way in the world you're going to be going on these millions of dates and getting all this money from these dudes and not giving up no ass at all. You know this not to be true. She's dangerous. But because y'all like her, and she fits that aesthetic that y'all have been indoctrinated and brainwashed into believing is something you're supposed to aspire to be like, you don't look at it honestly. And you don't remove yourself from what she's talking about, because what she's talking about is nothing. I'm serious. Sometimes I just like listen and look at stuff and I'm like, I don't understand how y'all get so easily hoodwinked by these things that are so obviously bullshit. So, but anyway, the bottom line is black women are now, because black males are completely finished the way this world sees them. They're done. They've been unemployed consistently for 3 fucking decades. Okay? 30 fucking years. The prospects of them becoming a collective group of dudes that become employed tomorrow and educated tomorrow is highly fucking unlikely. So white folks in America already know, the representatives, the people that run this country, the capitalists that need us to grunt out these dudes for them, to make money for them, to fill all of their capitalist systems, they know those dudes are done for. So since we are not holding our head as low, and we're not going through these serious bouts of sorrow and depression and feeling sorry for ourselves and living through life in false self-pity bags, they have to find a way to get us there. They have to. Because they know that now that you are literally the money in the black community. And since you're the money in the black community and you're beginning to be these black women that stand up for political empowerment, political advancement, black women progression, and you becoming more and more feminist and focused on your goal to uplift black women up out of permanent underclassship, that's making them upset. So they need to keep you convoluted in thought and misdirected or redirected towards bullshit, and keep you constantly nitpicking and having an issue with one another instead of sitting down and saying, like I was saying the other day, I have always called people out for what I see them on this platform. It has never been hate. It has never been jealousy. It has been about the benefit of black women. And for those women who ever called me bullying or had a problem with me calling them out, making these dumbass videos about me, and they could do all of that, but the one thing they could never do was talk about how I actually hurt black women and gave misinformation. That's the one fucking thing they could never do. But when you look at what they're doing, you can find that all up and through what they're doing, because they need to keep the gripe going. They need to keep the jealousy going, the envy going to exist. And the reason they need that is because without them even, I guess, consciously realizing that they're already bought and paid for by white America and white supremacy, patriarchy, and etc., because they have allowed themselves to become completely dependent on what they earn from YouTube. And you know how YouTube is. They need you to be a complete asshole, a complete fucking sellout on this fucking platform in order for you to make some money. So that's why you're always going to have a moment or many moments where everybody's going at each other, or the conversation of colorism is always going to be relevant, because that is the main thing that white America, patriarchy, and capitalism can always use with black women, because we come in more than one fucking color. We ain't bland like white people, Asians, Hispanic, and others, even though they have some variation of color, but we have the multitude of colorings that come with black women. So since you can't break us up over the fact that we black, you work and aim and shoot for breaking us up over the shades of black we come in. And then you work to make us fight with each other over who we decide to like, side with, and agree with their opinion. And that's what I was saying, we got to stop. Because let's just put it out there, like, if we could never get all black women to agree with ending colorism, okay, right? But if we could get you to acknowledge it and reduce it and not do it as often, I could live with that. But the thing we must start doing and put an end to it completely is having all this fucking hate for each other just because we don't agree with what the other person is saying. That saying we got to agree to disagree is really got to be real. But the real thing that we must also do in agreeing to disagree is to check people when they need to be checked, and ultimately let the bottom line, the blueprint, be We're checking you because we want all of us to be on the same fucking agenda of moving all black women forward. Not just the ones we like or the ones whose hair is straight and has the inclination to curl. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about understanding that all black women need to be uplifted and given praise every time we talk about something that involves them. And it ain't hard. Should it be hard for you to tell somebody that, yeah, you did a good job with that? Even if you have to tell them, I don't think that's something you should make a practice, because that is going to eventually, in my opinion, turn into this or can lead to that. That is perfectly fine. That's corrective criticism. And a lot of times on here, because black women are often very beat down, they can't seem to recognize corrective criticism over straight out hate. And we see it all the time. We see it in the live that I did just Sunday, where when I was trying to make sense of and trying to say I understand what stress and frustration Matrix Exposed was going through by being attacked by the other woman, Star Millennia, I meant just that. And when I was explaining that her message, Star Millennia's message, even if she did not agree with whatever Matrix was saying and she had her own opinion, the attack and the hate that she does to many people in here, myself included, is unwarranted. Because when it comes down to it, her overall message to young black women to sell themselves for money is a no-go. I don't care how you think about it. Nothing good long-term comes out of hoeing and selling yourself to strangers for money. Nothing good comes out of that. Nothing at all. And since I don't work or live or, put myself in those areas where I can find out what the end result is of those women, I can't tell you that. But I can definitely tell you, I have never seen any woman that ever lived in the street or lived as an extension of the street end up well off in their old age, or even sometimes live to old age. So no, it is not a good thing to be out here promoting prostitution to young girls, or falsely making them believe that if they're looking for relationships, which they should not be doing during this time. I mean, it should be more than obvious to all of us that it's dangerous out here for young black women, especially. They're killing you. They are chopping you up. They are killing you by black femicide. They're fucking you up in the street. They're fucking you up in your house. They're talking shit about you on YouTube so that anybody that comes in contact with you wants to fuck you up. They out here fucking you raw and giving you HIV. And everybody should know by now that if you get HIV and it's not treated properly, you will get fucking AIDS. And you will die. So you have all these threats out here upon you. So the last thing you should be out here doing is worrying about getting in a relationship and following any black woman's advice on this platform. I don't care who they are, about getting into relationships with black males of any kind or any other male. Because it was a Hispanic male that was out here infecting black women with HIV. And we all know about the white dude that was doing it some time ago, started in Africa, and he got quite a few women. So I'm telling you those things to show you the danger that's out here. So your best bet as black women right now is to keep building that sisterhood, keep building individual personal finances and race finances, and working together for a stronger community amongst ourselves, so that we can work towards having multiple fearless funds, multiple black women businesses, multiple black women everything, so that we work towards the equity and the financial freedom in this country that we actually deserve. And we stop arguing and taking sides over silly shit, which I don't even understand why Samantha Cooker felt it necessary to come after Chrissy with the whole trying to talk shit about how she don't have no kids, she ain't married, why she's not. That's not your business. What any black woman does with her body or her personal parts is not your fucking business. Period. And if black women, especially us older ones who you all claim never want to try to help y'all and tell y'all what to do, I'm telling you, you need to take advantage of your 20s and 30s as if your life depended on it, because it does. You don't need to be worrying about having any children, getting married anytime soon, or being in any relationships. You need to be chasing money because you live in a fucking capitalist country that is constantly trying to cut you off at the fucking knees. So if you're not out here making as much money as you can, right, to live good in the present and the future, you are going to fuck yourself up in the long term. And I'm not kidding, and I'm not bragging. I was always told from a girl in high school, not by my grandmother, but by my grandfather, Stephanie, you have to focus on things that are going to either get you a career or a job that is going to always afford you money and to live the lifestyle you want in your life. Now, you got to understand, even though my grandfather owned things and had stuff, he was not a well-educated man, because during his time, black people wasn't allowed to go to school like that. And every black person throughout this country did not live in the areas where we had HBCUs. Y'all gotta understand this. So a lot of these black people really got it out the mud, and that's what I'm telling you to do right now. I didn't know a lot about college when I first went, but I did know how to work hard. And the one thing I did know was how to go to the Occupational Outlook book. Back then it was an actual book. I went to the library and I got it. Now you can go online and read it. And you could read every single title of employment that there is in America and how much it pays and what you need to do to get that job. And that is the guide you should literally be out here looking at to determine what major you're going to take in college, what minor, to make that money you need to make. And then when you're done with that, go watch the video I made in reference to the mentors and find out how to get yourself a mentor to help guide you into that position to make that money. It's really that simple. It really is. So that when you get older like me, you don't have to worry about, listen, let me tell you something, and I'm not bragging, right? I do that saving method I tell you about every other month. So this is June, so this is not my savings month. And this month I will splurge a little bit because I've decided to go visit my son, right? So I'm leaving Thursday and I'm going to be traveling. I will record that for you so you can see it, and I'll put it up after I get back. But what I'm trying to explain to you is the things you do for yourself on a constant basis, the consistency of it is what we all need to start doing so that we're all okay in case of emergency, or just in case we just need extra money because this month something unexpected came up. And that's why I'm always talking to you about money. Let me tell you, it feels good to not have to worry about if I'm short for the month, because my problem is I tend to overspend doing dumb shit, right? Like before I made this video, I was on TikTok shop, buying all types of silly shit I probably don't even really need. But sometimes I go hard on shit like that and shouldn't be doing it. Okay, and H&M. But anyway, it feels good to be able to have an account that I have that's a high yield savings account, and I have a high yield checkings account. I put money in both, right? But I go in and out of the checking account. But it feels good where if I see, oh, my light bill's a little higher this month. Oh, I forgot to pay the cable, and I really did forget to pay the cable last month, right? So now I have to pay a higher amount this month. So instead of me worrying like, oh, my check is not enough for me to do it, I don't have to worry about that. All I do is transfer money from my other account and pay my bills. And that is why whenever I'm talking to you about money and I'm talking to you about education and black women, you got to increase your take-home pay, and black women, you got to worry about the sisterhood, and that's the reason why I tell you that. That really is the reason why. And the only reason why I know this and have been taught and learned to do this was because another black woman showed and taught me. So the thing I told you the other day when I said, when July 1st comes, right, that's going to be my full month of saving. Every day, I don't care even if it's 50 cents or $1, I will be transferring money every day to that savings and checking account. The way I do it is because I have both, I will put money in each account every day until the end of that month. Period. And I will do that every other month without even worrying about it. And then I go and check. You know how people make videos about checking to find money that's out there that belongs to you? I do that. I do that in this state. And guess what I found this month? I told y'all that when I had got fired, right, from housing, NYCHA, and I started working back for the city, what I'm doing now, I forgot that I had retirement accounts with them, right? And so when I was going through that it's a website you go through to find your money. It had told me I had over $3,000 in this account. I was like, what account? I don't even know what they're talking about, right? So when I looked, I was like, oh, it's the retirement account. It's called a supplemental fund here in New York City. So I called the people up and I asked them, you know, how can I get my money out? I need to withdraw, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, and this is how simple-minded and forgetful I am sometimes. She was like, you have already called here twice for this money. I said, I did. She said, yeah, and you never returned the form. So I said, I'm sorry about that. I will this time. And so now when I get that money, you know where that money is going, to those accounts I'm telling you about. So that if I'm low or I just need to put the money in there to get the interest off the money, that's what I'm going to do. And even though that might not be something everybody could do, it's the fact that I'm trying to tell you and instill and burn into your brain that instead of you giving these people on YouTube your money, I don't care how much you like them, let YouTube pay them, because YouTube does, okay? I'm just not a person that gets paid, but they do. So stop giving them super chats. Stop giving them cash apps. And you take that same money and you go on to nerdwallet.com and you find the best online high yield saving account and high yield checking account, or anything else you want, a nice IRA, whatever, a deferred comp, whatever. And instead of you giving those people your money who don't have a full-time job and you do, why are you busting your ass every day to go to work to give them your money when you should be paying yourself first? So that if you ever decide to go anywhere, you could travel how you want to. You understand me? I just spent 2 whole hours trying to find exactly where I wanted to stay, where I'm going, and trying to upgrade to the first class seat because that's how I like to travel. And as much as I travel, the points come quick, right? So I got all of that. And this is because instead of me giving my money to other people, outside of me spending it frivolously from time to time, I concentrate highly on my future, because I intend to be here till 116 if I can make it, right? So I concentrate on saving my money for always being able to take care of myself and any type of emergency one of my children may go through, and in case I'm running short for whatever craziness I'm doing for the month. And I'm trying to tell you that you should be in a position to do the same thing, if not better. And the way you start that is by knocking down all these barriers all of us women, black women, have amongst each other that was taught to us. And yes, I get it. I understand. Some of us come from mothers that have always taught us to be in competition and hate other black women. But it's time for you to throw that bullshit in the trash. And understand that some of the black women that you having such an issue with could be the very motherfucker that puts you on to something that can give you much more money than you're doing right now. Or put you on to some housing or whatever it is. Or buying a home about a program you never thought possible. Because if you don't think black women know what the fuck is going on in this country and how to live good, you're crazy again. Because they damn sure do. They damn sure do. My supervisor put me on to how to buy the apartment I was in. I didn't know about that shit till she told me. There's so many things women know that other women can benefit from, besides worrying about black women's hair don't grow like that, and oh, why is Chrissy complaining because where's her kids? She should be on her second marriage by now. That should not be our concern. Our concern should be, what do you have, black women or black woman, that you can share with me that I can benefit from? And what do I have I could give you that you could benefit from? And we not worry about what color our skin is. Because regardless of what color our skin is, everybody in this country and in this society is going to treat us the same way. Oh, that's a black woman. Ew. That's what they do. So I really would like us to understand that the more we fight with each other and can't stand each other and act like fools on this internet, the more these people are coming for us to try to take our voice away from us. And they can do it in many ways. They do it by having black men in a dress claiming that they're real women speak up for us when they should not be. They do it in the way of having all these black podcasters on YouTube talking about how we are trying to dehumanize us when we're not like that, and trying to make the whole world feel like we don't deserve anything. And let me tell you something, if you don't know about real history and the way humans work. The way you take away a person's humanity and set them up to be exposed to be exterminated, killed and treated the worst in society, is to convince the rest of the world that these people are not human and don't deserve to be treated as human. This is the way they started doing in Germany, and this is the way they've always done it throughout the history of mankind. So as black women, stop this fucking bickering and stand up together and push back against the black femicide, the colorism, the economic injustice, the fact that people want to fight and argue about if black women get married, don't have children, and just want to be free. We're entitled to all of that. So let them know it loudly. And we don't deserve to die just because black males feel like black femicide should be what they want to do whenever we don't do what they want us to do. All right, so black women, understand we got a lot of things on our head out here in this society, a lot. And it's all spearheaded by patriarchy and white America in this country, because they pull the strings. They determine who's shadow banned, who's pushed through the algorithm, whose video gets more rounds and whose don't. So we have to go back to networking the way we used to amongst ourselves, through word of mouth. The things we're supposed to focus on right now and forever is getting our money up so that we can buy literally any life we want in this bitch, just like everyone else. And if black males don't ever stand up and get their shit together and catch up, so fucking what? You as black women, protect yourself at all costs from everybody in this bitch, because they all got their sights set on you and me. So if and when you hear silly shit that goes on YouTube, don't fall into and feed the troll in you to want to go on Samantha's page and talk shit about Chrissy and vice versa. Just say to both of them, who, that's her opinion. We ain't got to give a shit about that. And if it's anything that has to do with her personal body, You really need to start telling these people, mind your business. That is her. She can do what she wants with herself. That ain't got shit to do with you. All right? Because it was just too much. Like, I don't really talk about stuff like that, but when I keep seeing like video after video after video, it's like, when are black women gonna stop acting like adolescents? We're grown women, and you could disagree with another black woman and not come at her always fucking hating and acting stupid and being ridiculous and talking about her and projecting all of your own fucking issues with yourself, your own personal inner crisis, throwing it up on the other woman. Let the shit go. I understand people do shit to go viral, but do shit to go viral without tearing black women down. Because have you ever noticed they only go viral for stuff that makes black women look, and things that people say about us that are horrible go viral? It speaks to our mentality. We need to care about ourselves more than that to stop that type of shit, and to allow something positive for a change to go viral about black women. I'm telling you, it's just something to think about. Yeah, it is really fucking ridiculous. It is ridiculous that when you talk about things and you speak to the facts of shit, and not just start calling people names and all that kind of shit, or making videos and calling them fake as fuck and all this other kind of crazy shit, just because you got a problem of jealousy with that person, we can do better than that. We need to have a viral moment where black women are actually doing something positive with each other, for each other. Let that go viral. All right. I've gave you all my thoughts for today. I will see you soon. Later.